I got a real quick one for you here on painting a stone club. This was part of the Troggoth paint project, and I left it out because I wanted to focus on just the skin in that first video. But yeah, we're going to paint a stone club now. And the one thing I want to point out here is that I'm using the same colors that I used for the Squig Hoppers. However, because we have such a much larger surface here, we have to make some adjustments to accommodate that. We are starting off with a base coat of flat brown, just like with the Squig Hoppers. However, this time I'm giving it a wash coat of Nuln oil. We're using the wash because we have a lot more nooks and crannies here that we have to add shade to on this model, so that's why we use it here and not on the Squig Hopper lances. Now we are applying the highlight, which is the same as with the Squig Hoppers, which is a mix of our flat brown mixed with some Parasite brown. From there, we work up to straight Parasite brown, and as always, as we work up to those lighter highlights towards the edges of whatever we're painting, we can get a little bit thicker with the paint as needed, so we get a nice crisp edge. And from there, we do our final edge highlight with some Plague Brown. Once again, we're picking out the edges and also trying to add a little bit of a wood grain texture, just like we did with the Squig Hopper lances. So makes that central area of the wood a little bit more interesting, a little stripe pattern, makes it pop just a bit more. For the stone part, I'm doing something a little bit weird here. Base coated with some dark blue gray, which obviously is a very cool gray. However, I'm giving it a green wash because I wanted to make it the base color obviously different from all the stone pattern that we put on the back of the troll. However, I still wanted to blend it in a little bit, so we used blue, which is a different color, but then we add a little bit of green, which will end up just being in the recesses, so that'll help tie it into the rest of the troll. For the highlights, I am mixing in some buff to our dark blue gray, which again is quite odd. We're mixing a very warm white color in with our very cool gray color, not something you normally do. However, I like to do that with rocks because rocks tend not to be very uniform in color, very monotone. There's a lot of variation in all sorts of rocks, speckles and swirls and what have you. That's not even accounting for moss effects or algae like we did with the green wash. You know, you also have dirt. Lots of variations. So doing this, I think it makes the rock ironically look a little bit more alive. We add about 3 highlights in total, adding more buff each time. And because this is a big smooth surface, we have to go with very thin layers and slowly build it up. And then when we get towards these upper highlights, as always, we can have the paint just a little bit thicker to help pick out those edges. For the leather straps, we are going with khaki as the base coat, and on that for shade, I am adding the Agrax Earthshade, and putting on a nice coat, also making sure to get it in between any areas around the straps, so we have a nice clear defined area around the strapping. Our first highlight is khaki, the same color we used as the base coat. Because the Agrax Earthshade darkened our light khakis so much, we can actually reapply with the same color using it as a highlight this time, and it works perfectly well. We're going to highlight 2 more times, both times with khaki mixed with beige. We got a little bit of beige in this mix, starting to work our way towards the outer edges of the straps. And our final highlight is beige with a little bit of khaki mixed in, working on just the edging here so we get that nice, crisp, clean look. And there you go. Very quick one, very simple painting wood and painting stone. Hopefully gives you a few ideas. Mainly I just wanted to show you the differences that I had to make based on the very small flat wood areas on the Squig Hoppers and using those same colors for this much bigger stone club, because I'll probably go into it a few more times during this much larger project of all these goblins. But even if you have like skin colors that are completely different, keeping small elements the same color, like painting all wood the same, I think it's very helpful in tying an entire army together when you have those small little bits like that. So anyway, hope you enjoyed it. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.
Give me liberty, or give me death, but with dinner I'll have stuffing.